Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Friday night here at Lakota East High School, home of the Thunderhawks. Tonight in the Hawks' Nest, we have a conference matchup between Lakota East and the Princeton Vikings. I'm Dave Royce with my partner up in the booth, Ken Yablonsky. And Ken, with East 0-2, Princeton 2-0. What will we see tonight with both teams in the conference play here?
Yeah, Dave, we're looking for East to bounce back here after their game against West last week. West manhandled them 49-6. East really couldn't get much started on offense. They are struggling with a couple injuries today. 7 seniors out of the game injured, either prior injuries or injured at practice this week. And Princeton, frankly, is on a roll. Princeton steamrolled Coleraine 28-0 and put up 63 points against Anderson in week 1.
Yeah, going to be a tough night for the Thunderhawks. So as we saw the band with pregame show here, warming things up. We got a beautiful night. We've got the Pee Wee football kids in the end zone tonight. And, of course, we had a great posting of the colors by our color guard tonight from VFW Post 7696 and the American Legion 681 joint color guard. So things are set up here. The band's ready to go. Looks like they're going to bring the Pee Wee kids out for the entrance of both teams here. And like you were saying, as Princeton's coming out of the locker room, they had a huge win last week and don't seem to be missing anything on offense right now.
Yeah, they have a nice pass attack. They scored, and they throw the ball deep or throw slants where the receivers just get out in space and are hard to catch up with. But most of their touchdowns this season have been long touchdowns, 50-plus yard touchdowns, I believe 5 of them. Tomahawk night here, always a fun night to see the youth. You've got the teams and the cheerleaders, Tomahawk Red and Tomahawk Black. Back in the day, they used to have the East and West kids combined to form Tomahawk teams, and now they have East Side Elementaries and West Side Elementaries and separate teams for them. But both sides of the community coming here today, and they're going to swarm the field. There's quite a bit, which is awesome to see the youth participation in the community. They form this tunnel, and when they get a high five, if we can get a smile on their faces here, that's a big-time moment for these kids being able to form a tunnel for the players to run through.
Not only the Tomahawk East and West football players, but got the cheerleaders out there too. So keeping that rivalry that we saw last week alive here in the Lakota district, even at the Pee Wee here level. And as we're getting ready to start just shortly here, as I see Princeton still down there ready to go. But, back on that game last week, R.J. West with 197 yards passing, and he did some damage with his feet too. He had 48 yards rushing too. So this Princeton offense, they pulled off, a 374-yard offensive night against the Coleraine Cardinals.
And passing 12 of 14, only 2 incomplete passes from R.J. West. So favorite target being Riley Woods, who caught a couple of the touchdowns, but 12 of 14, and then in week 1, I think he was 12 of 17 or 12 of 15, somewhere around there. So fantastic stats out of the quarterback. You'd have to assume those are short, flat, quick passes, or their receivers are going to dart out and be in open space. But something East is going to have to contend with here. Their corners are going to have to step up and knock down some of these balls today.
Yeah, that offense went well with the third down conversions. They were about 50%. The only weakness I see on the offensive side of the ball for the Vikings right now is penalties, hurting themselves. They had 61 penalties last week, and they were in the 70s the week before. So that's been a trend for Princeton these last 2 games. And if they can stay away from the yellow flags, they're going to have a lot of success tonight. And on the defense side of the ball, though, this is where I think, Ken, where East and Princeton are going to match up here. Both teams pretty tough in the defense, and I think that's going to be the tale of tonight is what do these 2 defenses do as the Thunderhawks are coming out of the locker room, and the Blacks again, home Blacks, as they bunch up in the end zone, swinging right and left with their chant as the student body in their neon tonight.
Yeah, did you bring your sunglasses here? We saw the student section earlier in their fluorescent green and orange and pink and yellow. Definitely need some sunglasses when we look at that student section tonight.
Yeah, last week it was the sun right in our faces. This week it's the student section, where tonight we're getting a little bit of cloud cover. It's a beautiful night here in Liberty Township for this conference rivalry between the Thunderhawks and the Vikings. And we're just moments away from kickoff here as Lakota East comes out. And, East, they've been sputtering a little bit on offense. Just 6 points last week and 3 the week before. And so the offense has got to do nothing but improve from here.
It's going to be a little tough, Dave, with quarterback Aiden Troutman out. They're going to be younger than they are. Eric Davis is going to play, we're told. I heard he was a little banged up during practice. We were talking to one of the parents pregame and told us that. A lot of non-padded shirts, jerseys on the sideline. Justin Green is out. Steve Embry's out. Jude Prather's out. Harrison Buckheit's out. Jake Reisner's out. Harrison Clute is out. Vincent Hilton is out.
So, yeah, Ken, that quarterback position is going to be key tonight with Troutman out. Last week they went with the sophomore quarterback for the rest of the half there. And not too bad. And as you mentioned, Jude Prather, who probably would have been the backup, the junior, he's out for the season, too, before the season started with an Achilles injury. And so very, very short in the quarterback arena right now for Lakota East.
Yeah, not much depth on that depth chart that we were sent today. So the junior Tomahawks are going to take the sideline here with the varsity cheerleaders. Always a highlight for them. My daughter got a chance to do that when she was a youngster. And the high school cheerleaders are paired up. They pair up 2 or 3 of the high school cheerleaders to help lead the elementary cheerleaders on the sideline. So hopefully we'll get a chance to see that. East looks like they're going to receive the kick. Nope, I'm sorry. East is going to kick off.
They're kicking off. And as we said, it'll be interesting to see what Coach Haynes does tonight. Is he going to stick with the run and the option? Is he going to have to open things up here with the younger quarterbacks? We'll see here in a moment. But as we always do in our broadcast, we always want to shout out to our military and our first responders out there and all of our alumni and grads, and thank Westchester Cable for hosting us and providing this service to everybody out there. So as we get ready to line up here for week 3 of Friday Night Lights.
He's kicker Tanner Meyer, I believe.
As he gets set to go, the whistle's blown. And the kick's away. And looks like he's going to put that in the end zone for a touchback. And we're on our way.
Nope, that isn't Meyer, is it? Who is that?
It's like number 82.
Non-uniformed mystery kicker.
Yep, which is not on our media chart here. So
East defense going to get tested here right from the beginning, see what Princeton does. They have a 30%, 60% run-to-pass ratio. But like I said, they have some long scores in their box scores that I've looked at.
Yeah, R.J. West at the helm had a huge night, as we said last week, as he takes the first handoff, hands it off, goes off the left-hand side. He's got a lot of room, and I don't see anybody in front of him. And from the first play from scrimmage, he might take it all the way. Number 9 cuts him off and allows some folks to catch up from behind. And what a big opening play by the Vikings from the start.
Yeah, that was a high snap, handled nicely by West. You see, snap comes high, he bobbles it and still gets it down to his running back.
Number 6 there, taking off, and just no one touched him at all. Free safety tried to get over there, and it wasn't until Devin Files tried to cut him off and turned him back into a couple other Thunderhawks. So it's going to be 2nd and goal here from the 5-yard line after that play.
It's a handoff off tackle here, not much room. Good job by the Hawks defensive line, but I guess that's the way to slow Princeton down, is to shorten the field, make sure they don't have 80 yards to move.
So you saw there in the replay, number 9 coming in, turning him back in, which is where we're set up here. West hands it off again, goes off tackle, and that's going to be touchdown Vikings.
Yeah, that was a relatively easy score for Zion Mason there.
Zion Mason takes it in. We'll see here on the replay. Handoff by West, just follows those offensive linemen. And Files can't get off his block there to stop it at the goal line, and it's 6-0 Vikings real quick.
Yeah, we knew they could score in a hurry. The long play, like we said, it won't go in the box score as a long touchdown, but the setup play certainly was 70 yards worth of field, untouched until the 4-yard line.
And Will Oliver puts in the point after, and it's 7-0.
Yeah, Dave, I don't know how East is going to answer these quick scores. You know, Princeton putting up 63 in week 1, 28 against Coleraine in week 2. Colerane's a little depleted, not the powerhouse that it once was, but certainly to score 28 on Coleraine and to score 63 on Anderson, Princeton's capable of scoring at will. Here comes that touchdown once again, and just simple off tackle right through the B gap, untouched to the end zone.
Looked like number 34, Rippey, had a chance there to get an arm on him, but just couldn't break off of his tackle either. So
We didn't get a chance to see East return any kickoffs last week. Every single kick went out of the end zone. I don't anticipate that from Princeton. Typically, they don't have the kicker strength that West has, so we're going to see if East can garner something on special teams.
And this is a part of the game that maybe, East could excel at. Nobody's seen anything from them, like you're saying, on any kick return. And, boy, field position could be a huge advantage to the Thunderhawks here tonight, as we're still not for sure what we're going to see on the offensive side of the ball, but we're going to see it here soon as Princeton lines up as Oliver sends it short.
Yeah, that was an intentional pop-up kick. I don't know if they're trying to get the East up men to bobble the ball, but East will take the gift there of the good field position.
Absolutely. They're going to start off about the 31, 32-yard line, it looks like, from here. And just as we were saying that we had cloud coverage, the sun comes out and is right in our face. But I'm sure it looks great for you guys at home there off the green turf. So we're going to see number 15 come out for the Hawks.
Yeah, that's Jason Sandhar.
And he is the sophomore quarterback that played the second half last week. And, coming in cold, Sandhar didn't do too bad. Slung the ball around a few times. Looked like to me had a quick release, made some quick decisions.
Got some kind of conference with the officials going on over the ball there.
Looks like East is stepping back. But it was that second crew, Ken, last week. The second string kids against the West second string kids that finally got the ball down and punched it in with 3.4 seconds left to take the big goose egg off the scoreboard.
So I'm not sure what that conference between stripes was about, but we are ready to resume.
See a couple players adjusting their uniforms on the Vikings side of the field as the umpire was there watching. I don't know what that was all about, but like you said, here we go. First play from scrimmage for Thunderhawks. As number 3 goes in motion, hands it back over to Taylor, and he'll break it up for a few yards on the right-hand side.
A little counter move there. Inside handoff on the counter. Good for 2 yards.
So that was Evans in motion, and we will catch up, folks, with all the new names in the lineup tonight, as we've got quite a few, as Ken mentioned, with all the injuries. So Vogelman broke out wide towards the screen. He sets up and blocks. They hand off. And trying to go off again.
Not fooled at all on the handoff to Davis. They're just going to expect that. I would assume they're just going to expect that inside handoff and key on Davis. East is going to have to get the ball out on the outside. It's going to be 3rd and 7 for the Hawks, and we're going to see what Jason Sandhar.
So Richter,
they had the week to prepare Sandhar for the game plan. You don't know how many snaps he took with the ones before last week. He was sort of thrown in the mix against West, but they've had a week to prepare, so we'll see what happens. He's in the shotgun.
He's in the shotgun. He looks back, throws the ball quick. Oh, not a bad throw. Hits, looks like Evans.
Ethan Evans came right across the flat there. I don't know if he would have had enough for the first down, but definitely a catchable ball by Evans.
Absolutely. Sandhar in the shotgun. He gets it. Releases quick. Nice spiral. Yep. Hit him right between the dash of the 3, right in the breadbasket. And like you said, it was a nice pass. Don't know if it was enough for the first, but brings up 4th down nonetheless.
Punt coming up by Lee Austin Sierveld,
and he goes end over end on that one. Gets it high, but I think he caught the end. It went end over end, and referee's going to march up and mark that at the 46-yard line.
Yeah, so giving Princeton the shorter field than they had first possession. And Dave East is going to have to find a way to stop the big play.
Yeah, so that's one of Austin's shorter kicks, right around 33, 34 yards. But I think he'd tell you he didn't get all of that one. It definitely was going end over end. He didn't get that big foot in there heavy enough. But again, on the defensive side, a lot of new faces for the Hawks. Got a couple guys going both ways.
And not typical of a Rick Haynes coach team. He doesn't necessarily like the teams to go both ways there. Could hear our Little Tomahawk cheerleaders yelling for defense there, spread out along the track. And resuming action here, R.J. West.
West hands it off to number 10. He goes wide right, finds another big hole. He scampers 5, 10, 15, and finally gets knocked out about the opposite 46 with a first down.
East outside linebackers are going to have to find a way to contain a little better than they are. They're coming up toward the line. I think they need to go a little more horizontal toward the sideline.
So that's Richardson with the ball for the Vikings. And he finally gets pushed out of bounds by Evans.
Oh, way high snap.
Way over there. And R.J. West goes back. He's looking around. He's dancing. And the Hawks need to haul him down right there for a big loss. All the way back across the 50 down to the 43-yard line. But we saw a couple of early snaps on that very short set that they had in the...
Yeah, that was about 7 feet over his head, though.
Yeah.
But, he got the nice bounce back to him. I guess he couldn't throw because his linemen were downfield. But, I don't know why R.J. West didn't just pick it up and throw it out of bounds.
Just zip it. Yeah, take it back to the line of scrimmage.
It's going to bring up 2nd and 33 for Princeton.
And he stands about 6'2", 6'3", so that had to be up there as he hands it off now right up the gut to number 2. Rutherford for the Vikings takes the ball up, and it's going to bring up 3rd and long. And I think we're going to get a chance to see RJ's arm right here, Ken.
Yeah, hasn't passed the ball yet, but definitely on 3rd and 33. Not sure what's in the playbook for that, but see if the Hawks secondary.
So here's where we're going to see this defensive battle. What's the D coordinator going to call up here for the Hawks?
Princeton goes trips on the left side, single receiver on the right.
I would not let him breathe here. I'd be bringing the house. There's
Looks
a quick
like
snap.
They got him to jump. It's going to be 5 free yards for Princeton, so it was 3rd and 26. Now it's going to be 3rd and 21.
Looked like they had plenty of time to get back as they jumped and the ball didn't snap and they stayed there. And the center just went ahead and said, hey, if you're going to stay in the neutral zone, we'll snap the ball and take a free 5.
Yeah, not quite as impactful when it's 26 or 21, but gets Princeton a little closer.
Makes it.
And West is back to pass.
Boom, there comes the heat, and he gets it off over into the flat, and the Hawks are going to swallow that up.
Draven Files with the big hit after catch and drags him, spins him out of bounds.
About a gain of 3 off of that whole play, but I do see some laundry on the field on the far side. I think we're going to have a penalty on Princeton. Ineligible man down.
Not sure East is going to accept this. They may just settle for 4th and long here.
Yeah, I would not give RJ another chance here.
Sure enough, they decline the penalty, and it's going to be 4th and 14, and Princeton's going to have to punt.
See if we can pick this up. The man goes in motion. He fakes the handoff.
Yeah, one of the linemen released downfield there.
Yep, quick throw. There's 55, I think, is the...
Yep, he's not an eligible receiver with that number.
Yep, and way out in front of the receiver downfield, so that'll bring up 4th and 15.
And East jumped again. Going to be 5 more free yards. That'll be 4th and 10 instead of 4th and 15.
And we talked a little bit beginning of the broadcast on the Princeton side of the ball of their penalties. But East did their fair share last week in their loss with 65 yards worth of penalties, and they didn't do much better the week before either. So,
and Princeton's going to choose to go for it instead of punt, being 5 yards closer. Being on the 36, they feel like this is 4-down territory, so they're sending their offense back in instead of their special teams.
And that's what penalties will do to you. Now it brings up 4th and 10.
Have to imagine a timeout coming, but
with just 6:52 and counting, as West goes in to the shotgun, barks a couple of times, fakes the handoff to nobody. Get there. And he whips it downfield to a wide open receiver in the end zone. So they didn't look for 10. They went for the enchilada and got it. Touchdown Vikings.
What a good heads-up play by the Princeton coaching staff, recognizing that they may be able to get a mismatch with Hawks special teams on the field. They have a wholesale change, and West throws a nice deep ball. The receiver just gets past everybody. Riley Woods, and that's Woods' second big play of the game.
And you see here, Ken, there isn't a receiver short right around the 10, 15-yard mark at all. Everybody was pretty deep. They had 2 deep and 2 mid at the 25, 30-yard range for West, giving him options. And that makes it 14-0 on 2 big strike plays now by the Vikings here early in the first quarter.
You know, and that's the play I'm sure East was worried about. Just Woods running straight down the field. Safeties weren't around. I don't know how East is going to stop that.
And we saw a little bit of this in last week against West, where we saw receivers getting behind the DBs. And Mitch Bolden taking advantage of that. One called back that he threw, and then came right back 2 plays later, almost the exact same play, and got the receiver behind the DB and scored their touchdown as well. And I think that's when it was 21-0. But like I said, East defense on the run not bad, but gotta tighten up the defensive backs here, and not just a simple fundamental footballs. Don't let somebody get behind you, right?
And penalties too. You know, he's jumped twice on that possession, at 3rd down and on 4th down. Declining the penalty was still the right call, in my opinion.
Agree.
Because you've got him 20 yards deep, but then when you make it 5 yards deep, or
give him a free 10 yards.
Yeah.
So Oliver with the PAT lines up for the kickoff here.
See if he pops it up again, or
2 for 2 on the PATs, and he's going to go short again over to that right-hand side, but I think this is returnable. Is number 9 drops the ball after that, and it's loose in a scrum, and
believe the Hawks.
Princeton recovers.
Yep, they do. So Vikings ball at the 25 after the fumbled kick. Driving Files, I believe.
So same little pooch punt over there to that right-hand side as we see here on the replay. Number 9 comes up underneath it and grabs it, but just doesn't tuck it away, and now it's bobbling around his feet. And all kinds of red jumping in there, and you can see
big number 77 for Princeton.
Scoops that right up.
Philip Daniels, Pitt commit Philip Daniels.
Right after Files, he had plenty of time to catch it. He just didn't tuck it away. Wanted to run before it was tucked into his arm, and now the Hawks have put themselves in a world of hurt here in a bad situation, as the Vikings start things at their own, at the 24-yard line.
Just over 6 minutes left in the first quarter, already having given up 14 points. And we've got an offsides, which ball wasn't snapped. I guess lined up in the neutral zone.
He jumped.
Or did he initiate contact?
Defensive tackle just entered the neutral zone. I don't think he made contact. So
going to make it 2nd and 1 for Princeton.
As the man goes in motion.
Inside. No, keeper by West.
West keeps it this time. Gets banged around a little bit and pinballs off and falls backwards. But after he got just enough for the first down.
He did run quite a few times last week against Coleraine. 8 or 9 times for about 50 yards. We're going to have a timeout here, officials timeout for an injury. Looks like 11, Ezekiel Holloman, outside linebacker for Lakota East, is down.
And just another senior that we just don't want to see, as the Hawks, as you said earlier, just riddled with injuries right now. Most of those injuries are seniors.
while they attend to Holloman. Want to thank all our viewers on Westchester Cable. Please like the page and share this link out to others who you think might want to watch this game.
Yeah,
Westchester Cable allowing grandparents from out of town and alumni and people that just couldn't make it out to the game tonight have a ticket in their living room to watch the game.
As we see the dock working there on Holloman, looks like another shoulder. Had a few of those last week on the defensive side as well. But yeah, Westchester Cable got their new logo here, as you can see in the left-hand corner of your screen.
Got the down and distance marker working this week, so hard at work in the truck.
And stay tuned as they're about ready to release a few more different opportunities and apps and stuff. The guys were telling me for viewing opportunities coming in the future. So I just want to shout out to our crew in the truck and up around the field here, giving you guys these great shots to the camera crew. So
Dr. Chow still working on Ezekiel Holman.
So 14-0 Ken here, just under 6 minutes at the 5:45 mark. Princeton knocking on the door here, and somehow, some way, the Thunderhawks got to come up with a stop, even if they can hold this to 3 points.
Yeah, they haven't found a way to stop the big strike Princeton offense yet, but special teams errors and penalties aren't helping either. And there you see Holloman walking off the field on his own power.
Taking a look over at Doc. I think they're going to take him into the locker room and check him out. And hopefully that young man's all right and can return. As we know, the Hawks definitely need all they can get right now.
Fresh set of downs for the Vikings here. 1st and 10 from the 13. Another high snap.
West fakes it, and then he pitches wide. The ball's loose. Just pick it up. There you go. And that's exactly what...
Big break for the Thunderhawks there.
The doctor ordered, not the doctor on the field, but the Big D doctor there, as the defense comes up with a turnover. Compliments of R.J. West here. And Ken, I'm not for sure what he was seeing because he had a lot of green in front of him. I'm not too for sure why he pitched that ball.
Yeah, high snap, he faked the inside handoff. And when he went to pitch it, I don't know if the receiver expected it, but it was like 2 or 3 yards behind the receiver.
Yeah.
And Hawks defender doing a great job. You know, usually you like your defender to sit on that and smother it, but our defender picked it up in stride.
That's why I was yelling, just get the ball. Bryce Taylor scoops that up and then gets pushed out of bounds. And the Hawks are going to take over on the 37-yard line. 1st and 10 as the offense goes out there. Man in motion was Evans. And Eric Davis takes that up the gut. And so not seeing Eric in there on every play, Ken. As you said, he is a little banged up. So Coach Haynes may be using him sparingly in that first series. But he's out there now as we bring in.
Yeah, Davis running right behind Trenton Fitzharris there.
Richter comes in, Vogelman comes in, and the tight end, Roush. So
got Dominic Herrig, sophomore, as the center.
Sandahar goes back, turns it up, holds on to that one this time.
Good decision to keep the ball and run there.
And the little sophomore quarterback scampers on up for a first down. See this again, Ken, as there goes Taylor in motion, and the defenders all key on him.
Yeah, he got a good block by Richter, junior running back there. And when you're running behind the line of Fitzharris and Fritsch and the law firm of Seerveld and Seerveld, you're going to get a couple yards at a time. So good blocking up front and good decision making.
Oh, he gets hit from behind, and it looks like Seerveld's going to jump on that one. But there's a good shot of the O-line there. A place that we're not really banged up. We do have the main center out, Clute. And there's Sandahar gets hit from behind with his arm back.
Big hit by Blake Howard, but heads up by Austin Seerveld to jump on that. That's what you want out of your punter. Pick up the ball on the line there.
So I don't see a whole lot of giving up a lot of space here on the O line as Clute goes out, and Number 60 looks like Dominic Horing comes in for that position, but everybody else is the same starting lineup, and O-line should be strong and trust them as now Sandahar gives it up the gut.
Davis
to
is going
Eric
to plow
Davis.
ahead for about 3 or 4. Still going to be third and about 12 or 13, so passing situation for the Hawks. And
let me just shout out the ED there. He has been doing his job in these last 2 games, though the Hawks only have 9 points to their offensive credit. Eric had 100 yards last week, and I think he was just shy of that the week before. And so Eric Davis definitely doing his part on the offensive side of the ball here.
Yeah, East fullback is always going to be the workhorse of their offense. Always going to have the most touches and going to get hit the most times. So for Davis to be in there, taking his shots, Hawks are going to get 5-yard penalty here.
So 3rd and 13 is going to be 3rd and 18. As apparently someone was called in the huddle there because the whole left-hand side of the offensive line was moving quick.
Yeah, definitely some confusion there. Sometimes that's the center that doesn't snap it on time. Other times it's a wrong snap count that's passed on.
So there's Coach Haynes and the offensive line coach out on the field trying to get things settled
Hawks are
out.
going to have receivers to the left, sole receiver on the right, and Sandahar back to pass.
Throws it deep, looking for number 3 here as he waits for it to come down.
Nice defensive
Evans.
play there by Zion Mason.
And Mason just throws over top of him. See a replay here, Ken, as quarterback's in the shotgun, plants his feet, lets it go. Didn't get a chance to step through that as the offensive line was coming back at him, but number 7 there just makes a great
Yeah, that was on target.
acrobatic.
Evans has a chance to catch that if Zion Mason doesn't tip it away. So Hawks in another punting situation here. Austin Sierveld to punt.
Evans was waiting for that thing to fall down, and like you said, Mason just made. There's a big boot, end over end. That's going to push it back to about the 13-yard line for the Vikings. There's a push in the back. Come on.
Not called.
Not called at all.
Peyton Russia returning. Oh, no, that's
Files was right
Riley
down
Woods.
there getting ready to make the play there. You can see him in the screen right there and gets that little extra shove that knocks him off balance.
Yeah, it wasn't quite a push in the back, though. He still had.
Vikings take it up the sideline and bring it up to the 40-yard line.
So they're going to have to watch for Riley Woods here, but R.J. West inside handoff.
So about a 24-yard return, which is one of the bigger returns against the Hawks. And this is where the Hawks can maybe pick things up, Ken. In my opinion, it's the special teams, kicking, kick return, punt coverage. That's how they're going to win games, as banged up as they are, as young as they are. It's going to take the small things on special teams. And the defense tightening up here, as there we get
They're
another.
gonna get him again. Hawks are not very disciplined today. That was the first run by Terry and Tino Brown Freeman by Princeton, one of their main rushers, with his first carry the previous play. But again, East, I don't know if it's the count or just the anticipation, but they keep jumping over the line.
As West has got him thinking as he hands it off again to number 23. Goes off the left-hand side, tiptoes down a little bit, and he's going to get to about the 32 or 3-yard line.
Yep, that's Tarantino Brown Freeman again. Sophomore talent. He's not very big. Doesn't need to be big because he's got that quickness.
And not too many people touch him till he gets deep into the secondary, as about the only person that could touch him was Rippey, and again, trying to throw his arm out there on an arm tackle, couldn't do it. As the Vikings set back up here on about the 34. West goes a quick out to the right-hand side. He makes a move, gets a couple of extra yards after the catch.
A better job of containment by the East defense, but nobody up on him to challenge that initial pass. And Dwayne Richardson.
He just puts the brakes on, Ken, here, just about 8-9 yards off the line of scrimmage. and then does the rest with his feet. Like you said, it's one thing to give the cushion, but boy, you got to make the tackle as soon as he catches the ball. Now that's a little slowed snap as he hands it off to the sophomore again, number 23. And I think he's going to find his way in the end zone.
Yeah, he's hard to catch. A couple nice juke moves up the middle there.
Here again.
And just follows his blockers.
34 just missing him right here coming through the line of scrimmage.
Tayshawn Huff says, let me show you the way.
And there we go. If we'd hit and tackle instead of trying to throw shoulders, that makes a big, big difference.
So giving up 21 points in the first quarter so far. Well, 20 pending the...
I wonder with some of these injuries, too many kids watching Sunday afternoon, evening football where these big professional football players can throw a shoulder and knock guys off their center of gravity. But varsity football, it's hit and wrap. As now we're going to get
there's some
officials
confusion.
Timeout.
Yeah, there's some confusion by Princeton on... I don't see Will Oliver out there. Was he...
Clock stopped. As now all kinds of guys are coming off and going.
I don't know if they're going to wind up going for 2 here instead of kicking or what the situation is, but a lot of confusion on...
And not for sure why the refs were holding up the game clock here, giving Princeton all kinds of time to change personnel. We're not on a commercial break here, so not too sure what all that was about.
Yeah, but now we're situated. And
as it does look like they're going for 2 in a wildcat formation as number 6 fakes right, goes left, takes it up the middle, and looking to see if he got in there.
I don't see a signal.
I did not see a signal either.
But they are saying that was
They're
good.
saying it was good. I never saw any official put their hands up.
I don't know what we missed there, Dave, but...
We'll see it here on the replay as he scampers through and clearly in.
Yeah, if not from our angle up there, but Riley Woods just takes the snap and runs in. I don't know if their kicker is up in the stands talking to parents or what he's doing, but it looked like they had everyone lined up for the extra point, but the kicker wasn't out there, so they said, well, I guess we're going to go for 2 since we don't have a kicker on the field.
That's Will Oliver's been doing the duties for the Vikings so far.
Yeah, they had another kicker for the first 4 extra points in week 1, and then Oliver kicked the entire second half of week 1, all of week 2. So Oliver took over for somebody else.
So now here at the 2:06 mark, still in that first quarter, and it's 22-0 Princeton.
Feels like a long first quarter to me, Dave.
Absolutely a long first quarter. A lot of stepping out of bounds, a lot of penalties stopping the clock.
Couple flags, yep.
Like I said, something the Hawks can't afford to do at all tonight. Get penalties, allow big plays, and try to execute and dominate on special teams.
And we talked about this last week. They can't get down on themselves.
Right.
They can't hang their heads. They just have to play for the next play. Don't worry about what's on the scoreboard, but have some success in each offensive play. So see how they react being down 22 here early.
Yeah, I mean, it's early in the game. Like you said, there's another short kick over to the right-hand side. Not for sure why. We just tried to catch that.
Cost ourselves about 7 yards there.
Yeah, that was clearly going out of bounds and would have been a penalty.
I guess the risk is if it does bounce, it takes some awkward bounce you do give up.
I don't know. With the way that thing was end over end, short, high, the opposite of another fumble turnover too. But looks like the Hawks will start off after Taylor gets underneath that, steps out of bounds, and they're going to have first down right at the 28-yard line. But yeah, I mean, would have had the ball at the 35. They'd have just let it go. There was pretty much, in my opinion, no doubt it was going out of bounds on the fly at that. So Sandahar gets under there, hands it off up the middle. Looks like ED, and he'll get his 4 yards. And bring up second down and 6.
Yeah, the Hawks, Princeton has back-to-back triple option weeks. Having played Coleraine last week, they only threw the ball 4 times. So they had 2 weeks of practice against the triple option and 2 straight opponents for triple option. Definitely schedule bodes well, but East is going to have to find a way to get the ball on the outside. Timeout Princeton didn't like what they saw. Make sure they have the right personnel there. So minute 26 left in the first quarter. See a good shot of the Lakota sky, the Westchester Liberty Township sky over the visiting stands, the drum line there, beating the tunes. Sun has gone down behind those clouds, Dave, and it's absolutely gorgeous night to be out here and to be celebrating these boys on the field.
And just taking a peek outside the press box here, looks like a pretty good crowd here on the east side, and slowly filled in over there on the Princeton side. I guess they finally made the drive over. It's at game time. It was pretty sparse over there, but
there must have been traffic on I-75 North.
Definitely almost a full house here on the east side. Like you said, the weather couldn't be any better.
A lot of Tomahawk parents here watching their student athletes cheer, and the Tomahawk players supporting the team here, at least for the first half.
So there goes Eric Davis, as we're going to see a large dose of him, and I think Princeton knows that too. And big number 70, Thomas, for the Vikings, grabs him.
So East in another passing situation, 3rd and 8. And again, they haven't chosen to take their chance on a passing play early in a series yet. A little confusion by the receiving corps now on who's supposed to be on the field. Hawks may have to take a timeout here because
Rippey goes out and Richter comes in as they get lined up. Sandahar snaps it quickly, goes to throw it, gets hit from behind again, somehow holds on to the ball. Holy cow. I thought for sure that was loose.
Yeah, it looked like arm from behind. Sandahar held on, kept his feet and moved ahead for 2 yards, but 4th and 10 again for the Hawks.
And I'm not for sure if we'll kick this before the end of the first or if Coach will just let this wind down.
I don't think they need to.
The game clock and play clock are pretty far apart, and I think that's what they're going to do. They're just going to take this down to the end of the first quarter and punt the opposite way.
So, Dave, that brings us to the end of the first, and Princeton Vikings 22, East Thunderhawks 0.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Lakota East's Hawk Nest. As you see the band there giving us some entertainment in between the quarter here as the Hawks find themselves down 22-0 to the Princeton Vikings. And so far, Ken, it's been all Vikings.
Yeah, a bunch of 3-and-outs for East. Not sure they have a first down, maybe 1 or 2 first downs, but Princeton with a couple big strikes. First play of the game, running 72 yards down the field and scoring a couple plays later, adding on 2 more touchdowns. The only possession they didn't score on is when East fumbled the kick, and Princeton had its best field position of the day.
Yep, as they go back to the punt formation there, as they were 3-and-out, as Austin Severfield kicks off, and Aiden Severfield touches it down. So there's the brothers doing it on the offensive line and special teams.
Have to imagine that happened in their backyard a few times where Austin kicked it and Aiden downed it.
So Princeton getting good field position out of there. And
maybe that's the answer, is giving Princeton the short field. That's the only time East, they didn't do damage against East, having their own mistake. So, besides the one mistake by Princeton, which was a bad pitch,
R.J. West holds on to that ball and goes just right by everybody. Nobody has touched him yet, and nobody's going to touch him until he gets into the end zone.
Absolutely no containment by the corner there. Safeties weren't to be found, and R.J. West prances in the end zone.
Nothing touched him till the goal line. And then there's a little push and shoving after kind of a late hit deep in there, as you'll see. He just takes off, scampers past the entire defense. Nobody's close. And after he's about 6 yards in the end zone, we finally put hands on him late and luckily avoided a flag down there.
So Oliver back from whatever business meeting he had to miss the last extra point.
As he kicks into the north and punches it straight through.
Here comes that touchdown one more time. This time from the end zone, Cam.
There's that shove right there at the end that a few of the Princeton players didn't appreciate. Don't blame them. 6-7 yards into the end zone. And now the Princeton Vikings are up 29-0, and somehow the Hawks are going to have to get some containment. I don't know where the free safety is there. I mean, West, no secret that he runs the ball as well, as he had, about 48, almost 49 yards last week. So he will keep it and scamper, and that's going to help his average right there, as he just went about 49 yards for a touchdown. So
yeah, and he just looked like a man among boys.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for the Hawks.
And not only touched, just ran away.
So Hawks going to be back on the offensive side here.
As the Vikings line up. And like you said, Ken, we just entered the second quarter. So a lot of football to play for these young Hawks to learn, grow here, and get something positive out of this. I always say you can't simulate this in practice when you have an opponent. It's still only week 3.
Week 3 and 2 back-to-back tough opponents. I mean,
yeah.
West, one of the best teams in the state, arguably, and then Princeton just with their offense.
But there's a nice run back from number 9 as he takes it around the 5 or 6 yard line, and he's going to scamper up over the 40-yard line.
And as you predicted, Dave, that's the special teams that needs to spark something else. You know, they need to feed off each other. You got a great special teams play here.
So Drayvon takes it and gets a good run back, and yeah, exactly what you mentioned there, Ken, that we're talking about, special teams. Puts the Hawks in good field position right at the 40-yard line, and that's where they're going to have to win these small battles to get some points on the board and get some things rolling well for the Thunderhawks here. As Sanderhard gets underneath the center, drops back, looks for a quick pass over here to Vogelman, but comes up way short as Andy tries to reach his arm out to pull that in.
Yeah, I think it was supposed to be a button hook route there, and Vogelman took a couple steps forward, button hooked out, and the pass was about 3 steps away from him. Like to see them trying to get the ball out on the outside. Try something different here. You know, Sanderhard, like you said, not much experience there at the quarterback position at the varsity level. So
yeah, and he had a little bit of a cushion if you could have hit him. Now he hands it off to Richter, the sophomore running back that I believe had the big run last week down to the 2-3 yard line late in the game. So the double tight ends come out.
It's good for 2 yards, bringing up 3rd and 8. I'd like to see East use their tight end.
Would love to see it. Just something short, 5-6 yards, catch it, let that big body do something afterwards, but just secure the ball. You know, nothing fancy has to be done here, right? Keeps the defense honest when you throw the ball every now and then. As now he pitches it out to number 2, Taylor, And the cornerback there on that side was not
see, the corner on that side just goes horizontally down the field. 29 does a great job coming from his defensive back position to make sure that.
And I'd like to see Sanderhar hold on to that ball just a little longer, Ken. Running the option, he kind of telegraphed that a little too soon and was able to let that defensive back release quickly once he sees the ball coming out of his hand. And that's something that TJ and Charlie Kindrich ran really, really well last year with that quarterback fullback combination, holding on to the ball almost to that last second.
Princeton special teams doing a nice job there. Austin had a hard time getting that ball off, did a nice job getting it off. It did go out of bounds a little short, but did get the punt off before it was blocked.
It's going to get that ball down to about the 29-yard line. And East had one blocked last week. They came flying through and blocked one of the first, I think, punt by Austin and ran it in for a touchdown. So
that was former East Hawk Hugo Flowers with the block on that, I believe.
So Lucky got that one off, puts him back in there, and there goes Princeton down the left-hand side. One man touches him finally after about 30 yards. And
that's Riley Woods again.
The wagon train finally catches up from behind.
Same play that they ran first play of the game. There's Wood coming right in front of quarterback R.J. West, getting the handoff, turning the corner and going. We're going to see this again.
So safety's just a little mixed up there. Linebacker can't get there. Number 8 turns him in, slows him down just enough.
Fabulous downfield blocking also.
Warren and Taylor to catch him from behind. Now West goes to work, throws one out into the flat, but it's going to be dropped by the Vikings. But, Ken, great downfield blocking there by the Vikings.
And the angles just aren't there for the Hawks. You know, they're taking the angle, but the speed of these Vikings players are greater than the angle they're taking. They need to take that deeper angle to get that tackle, and they just haven't timed it correctly.
So 2nd down and 10 after the big play as number 2 goes right up the gut. And again, not much getting touched here.
No, he's taking Hawks with him into the end zone.
Somebody can jump on his back, but like you said, not after he drags him and piggybacks him into the end zone for another Viking touchdown.
Princeton offense just running on all cylinders here. They have for the last 3 weeks. Hawks don't have an answer for it. Coleraine didn't have an answer for it. Anderson didn't have an answer for it. Princeton looking good. If they don't self-implode, they're a good team.
Yep. There's another 20-yard scoring play by the Vikings as Oliver comes out for the PAT. And he'll put it through.
So if the Hawks don't get something going here, they're going to be in another situation like last week where it's going to be a second half running clock. Clock will not be running yet. Doesn't happen until the second half with a 30-point lead. Right now it's 36. Hawks are going to have to find a way to get on the board to prevent that from happening. Otherwise, we're in for another quick second half.
Absolutely, Ken. And, I see the offense trying a few things here. They are throwing the ball a little bit. Again, a lot of young players here. A lot of kids not used to playing with each other. Timing is not there. Familiarity is not there. And hopefully throughout the game we'll see that maybe progress and get better, as most of these kids had 4 days to get ready here for, like you said, another good opponent back-to-back with West and Princeton both coming into the Hawks' Nest 2 weeks in a row.
Dave, one of the issues I see, and I don't know if this is the forum to be critical here, but you've got all the injured Hawks down on that side of the field with each other. And I don't know if they were told to do that, but as a coach, I would like to see them encouraging some of the players that are in the game there, and that's not happening right now.
Would love to know the answer there, because some of that senior leadership, even just from the sidelines, becomes huge for these young sophomores, juniors who are in there that aren't normally in there, play to play, thinking they're going to be standing behind guys. So
a lot of frustration on the sideline from the coaches, from the players. Have to stay positive here. So Hawks set to receive here. They had a good run back last time they returned to kick. See if Files can make something happen here. Kicks up in the air, and it is another short one.
In the middle, but short. And number 2 takes the ball. He's got a little bit of space as he tries to come wide right towards us. And the speed of that Vikings just catch up quick. As I was pulling up to see, we talked about 2 tough opponents in a row with West and Princeton, and the next 2 games outlook are both on the road, though. Pick Middletown and Hamilton before they come back home here against Mason. So they got a couple of weeks on the road, a couple of opponents they should match up a little bit better with, and then, boy, I hope they can get on the roll for when Mason comes in here to the Hawks' Nest, because that'll be another big game for Lakota and get some injuries hopefully back. As the Hawks set up now at the 20-yard line.
Going to go with an I formation here. Handoff up the middle.
That run back was by Taylor. And looked promising there for a second. He had a lot of green. Looked like he was going to turn it up. And talking about angles and speed, boy, the Vikings shut it down quick.
Yeah, he kind of aborted where his blockers were going up to the left, and he decided to come right to see if he can outrun. But it's going to be tough to outrun these Princeton athletes.
So Davis picks up his typical 4 and set up shop here, 2nd and 6, right at the 25-yard line. As Richter goes in motion, gives that back to Davis right up the gut.
Nowhere that time, maybe 1.
Maybe a yard there.
We've got 3rd and 6. Temperature has cooled down about 5 degrees here with the sun behind the clouds. Little overcast, Labor Day weekend.
So Sandahar goes in. I see double tight ends come in. So that would key me if I was on defense. This is going to be a running play. As Davis sets up behind Sandahar. Taylor splits wide though, right. Richter's there. And he keeps it this time and goes off left tackle. And he's going to get knocked forward, but just shy of the first down. And it's going to bring up 4th and 1 at the 30. And Coach Haynes is going to have to make a decision here.
Yeah, it looks like they are going to punt it. They were hesitant at first about sending in the punt unit, but you're too far into your own territory to take the chance on getting a yard here. Maybe they'll try and get him to jump off sides on a hard count. Nope. Snap a little high. Sierreveld handles it and gets a line drive punt over.
To number 6 for the Vikings. Takes it. He's going to go on the left-hand side. And all kinds of hankies are getting thrown here. As Riley Woods has the return for the Vikings.
Yeah, we're going to see if we get some kind of hold or block in the black.
So again, Austin kicks, and Aiden gets the push out.
Got a personal foul
against Vikings. I saw a couple of flags come out at the same time, so what looks like would have been about a 10 or 11 yard return is going to push the Vikings back from about midfield.
Give them a little longer field goal, but with some kind of illegal block. Couldn't tell what that was.
But 15 yards nonetheless, and that's going to set the Vikings up at their 35-yard line, 1st and 10. As West kind of scampers off from the sideline, sets up. They've got trips right, wide left. As now sidelines changes the call. And West moves his running back, but they're going to run out of play clock and have to take a timeout here. So it's 7:06 left in the second quarter. Princeton takes their second timeout, but they are up 36-0 against the Hawks.
Yeah, this has been all Princeton so far. East getting advantage of a Princeton mistake.
On the bad pitch, yep.
And but that's about all they've had.
And didn't do much with the ball there. I think they went 3 and out after that. And they had the ball at midfield almost. I mean, about 40-something yard line after the scoop on the recovery of the fumble. And the defense is just going to have to try to do something here, like you said, try to take some angles. I know we got a couple guys going both ways here, offense, defense, and some young guys in the linebacker, defensive back. As West now goes back to sling it, and he finds his receiver wide open in the middle of the field, and it hits off his knee.
Just trying to look up what that signal was on that.
Williams was cutting across at midfield and took it right off the knee or thigh area.
I think our official is making up illegal block signals because I'm on a website here that I'm unfamiliar with the head-to-head fist. Need to brush up on that apparently.
So 2nd and 10 now. West hands it off to number 10. He scampers through, and now
East with a big play, but they're going to get flagged for a horse tackle possibly.
I'm not for sure, but 34 Cohen.
Oh, that's a hold on Princeton.
Cohen Reap finally gets his arms around the running back and pulls him down.
So East with a nice defensive play and a penalty against Princeton. They're going to take one or the other. Looks like they're going to accept the penalty this time and move Princeton back 10 yards.
Yeah, I think he gained about a yard or two on that, Ken, but 10-yard holding penalty. I like that. Push them further back in the zone, play a little field position game here if they can hold them.
2nd and 20 here for the Vikings.
As Vikings go into their split set, 3 up top, wide, going to come right back. Oh,
in and out
to
of
number
hands.
5 again, and he can't haul that one in. Just a tad behind him, but definitely catchable for Williams. As West and Williams don't connect there on that one either. And luckily for the Hawks, that's going to bring up 3rd and 20. Because that would have been just short of a first down if they would have tackled him right after the catch. He was just about at the sticks.
Yeah, definitely on target for R.J. West. Williams just couldn't.
Williams knew where he was. He just couldn't follow that ball into his hands as they go 4 wide receivers out. See number 8 wide open over here towards the sidelines as the Hawks are going to let him make the catch and then get him pushed out.
Good stop by the Hawks secondary there.
As that's going to bring up 4th down, but I see a Viking down.
Jordan Houston on the catch.
I think that's a big offensive lineman there, number 77 for the Vikings.
That's our Pitt commit, isn't it?
Yes, Phillips Daniels committed to Pitt. And wow, what a game that was last night, Ken, watching Pitt and West Virginia in the backyard
classic.
brawl.
Desmond Howard thinks Pitt's going to be in the Final Four, but he may have to rethink that after West Virginia had them on the ropes.
Yeah. So the backyard brawl there in Pittsburgh between Pitt and West Virginia was a classic last night.
Great to have that kind of rivalry back in college football. Sun going down here at the Hawks' Nest. And Princeton set to punt.
I believe this is going to be their first punt of the night. Andy Vogelman back to receive as he gets one off. Nice, high, tight. Vogelman catches, calls for the fair catch. All right, about at the 24-yard line.
Yeah, solid punt there. Had some distance, had some height.
Yeah.
Princeton did line up to punt prior, and with the Hawks penalty,
decided to switch off and go for it and got it. And then some with a touchdown, as you see the neon in the student section there.
Yeah, we don't need the sun out when you have that kind of brightness in the stadium. And there's Princeton's Cheerleaders, band, student section, loud and proud.
Sporting their red.
So Hawks finally with the stop of the Vikings, and they'll take over at their own 22.
And the Hawks need to do something with this possession, like you said, Ken, if they want to avoid that running clock, as
Vogelman was interfered with there. The Princeton defender kind of ran into him before the ball got there, and it's going to be a pass interference penalty on the Vikings.
Yeah, Vogelman was set up in the Sandahar a little late with the ball, but to his advantage, because the Viking defender was coming in to hit Andy a little early. And the Hawks will take that, because if he would have just held up and wrapped him up, that probably would have been a 5-yard gain, but instead it's going to be a big penalty for the Vikings, and it's going to move the ball all the way up to the 38-yard line.
The Hawks are lucky that that ball was not intercepted the way that corner jumped the pass there. If he could have gotten around Vogelman instead of into him.
He was coming hard. As Richter goes in motion, Sandahar barely gets that off, I think, to Eric Davis as he goes forward for 2.
Yeah, Princeton defenders just smothering that.
And hey, like we said, ED's been doing his thing. 100 yards last week, almost 100 the week before. Definitely the leading rusher for East, so that he's the guy to key on if you're wearing an opposing colors, and if you're got a Viking helmet on tonight, I'm watching number 1 really close. As now we throw in a few substitutes, Vogelman, and I think that is Rippey come in, and the wide receiver position. Sandahar goes back, throws one quick to Andy Vogelman as he tucks it under, then takes a few hits, finds himself still standing, and then tries to turn it up a little bit.
A good throw and catch there on the out. Sandahar with a nice drop back, nice straight line drive ball right in Vogelman's hands, who pulls it in.
So I think he picked up about 4 or 5 off the catch and then got knocked backwards. So they're going to give him that forward progress.
Going to be 3rd and 5. We'll see if the Hawks are short here. If they do feel like they're in 4-down territory, they don't have to get all 5 here. They are still short of the 50, so this is questionable territory.
So Richter, Davis, and Taylor in there. As he hands it off to Taylor, he spins around. Oh, I think he lost the ball. I think he came around the corner and got smacked up high and lost the ball.
Princeton's acting like they have it, and sure enough.
Just when the Hawks were starting to move the ball south in the right direction, we get a big turnover.
So kind of a cluster clump
I don't know if we got
in the
another
middle
shot
there
of that coming off
that Evans ran into. But the ball definitely popped out, and Princeton recovered.
And it looked like he was going to pick up the first down potentially. I mean, the ball's right about where the first down marker would have been.
So Princeton back to taking over here on a short field.
At their 43-yard line, West drops back, waits for the guy to come in, and throws it out in the flat. And just like that, little 3-yard pass from West, and the Vikings pick up 13 yards for a first down. And that's what the East needs to look to do. That short play, quick decision though. Can't take a lot of time to let that develop as West didn't right there. He threw the ball quickly and gave his receiver a chance to turn it up, as now he hands it off up the middle as he bounces out to
great
outside.
Spin move by Tarantino Freeman Brown.
All the way down the sidelines and into the end zone. And just as we were trying to hope that the Hawks could get 6 to stop the running clock in the second half, the Vikings march it down, but Hanky
called back for holding.
You see the laundry there on the field. Holding called. And the Hawks will take it with 3:48. Problem now, Ken, is I don't know if they're going to have a chance to get the ball back, to get a chance to go in there and try to stop this running clock in the second half. As you see the score on the scoreboard there, 36-0 with 3:48 left.
And I'm not sure Princeton has any intention of just running the clock out here at the first half. They have visions on scoring one more time.
Nope, I think they're hungry for the end zone, just as West was last week, as R.J. West gets behind there, makes a move, makes a great fake pitch, and holds on to the ball and scampers forward. And after 2nd and 21, he's going to pick up maybe 7 yards here.
Yeah, just over 3.5 minutes left here in what's been a long first half.
Absolutely. As now we got 2nd and long, and you know, if
Princeton
anything,
going empty backfield, 4 wide.
the Hawks don't want to give up points here. If they can keep West where he is and keep the Viking offense here, I think they're out of field goal range. As now he throws a big one down the center of the field, wide open. Number 6, just 6-8 yards behind the defense.
Favorite target, Riley Woods.
And that is no secret, as we talked about early, right, Ken? Riley Woods last week with 72 yards, receiving yards. So, you know, that's who RJ likes, and he finds him wide open behind the defensive backs.
Yeah, Woods going into tonight had 4 touchdowns, and I believe that's his second tonight.
I think it is his second, as he hauls in about a 38-yard
and Will
touchdown.
Oliver puts the Vikings up by 43. We're looking at 43-0, 3 minutes left in the half.
So all but the one score down here where they had to actually had 1st and goal. Big strikes by the Viking offense. They've all been long touchdowns. As you see the sun setting here in the west, here in Liberty Township. But right now it is all Princeton Vikings.
And for Coach Haynes, Dave, I don't know what you say at halftime. You know, you don't want to say, here we go again, but you got to get through this game. You got to stay injury-free the rest of the game. You got to see who can do what. Who's going to step up and make a play? Which running back is going to break through? Which lineman
exactly
is going to have that nice pancake block?
It's a learning situation. I agree with you, Ken. It's who's the next man up. You know, where, like you said, be interesting to know where the seniors can step up, even if injured. Right here along the sidelines, I would have them in the mix. I agree with you on that one. And it doesn't become anything about X's and O's anymore. It's about Jimmy and Joe's now, right? Who's going to step up? Who's going to go out there and give 120% and try to do something? Because it's a long season, like we said, week 3, and we still got a whole half of football left. And I think he's just going to have to challenge kids in the locker room here at the halftime. As Oliver kicks off this one, he goes line drive.
It's going to roll out of the end zone, and Hawks
time.
are going to get the ball at the 25.
Hawks let that one go this time in the end zone. I think he thought it was going to hit the inside the pylon and go out of bounds on that one. But
it was close to ricocheting that way. Good decision either way. That's a tough line drive to field. You know it's either out of bounds or out of the end zone. So.
Yeah, so far Oliver's gone, 3 pooches, 1 deep kick where they got the good run back.
Keep you on your toes.
And, he's keeping this kick receiving team on their toes. Like we said, if you're going to try to make a statement or a comeback or work something, it's got to be on special teams. As the Hawks now line up, little confusion there on the defense of the Vikings. As Sanderhart goes underneath the center, looks around for ED, or wasn't there. Now he spins back around, trying to get loose. I think that was a busted play.
Yeah, just nowhere to go. I think he
thought the fullback was coming through, and
he thought about pitching it. I know the last time he pitched it, it went nowhere, so he decided to keep it, but got spun around a little bit. I do see Aiden Troutman on the sideline now, talking to his teammates, trying to hype him up.
As Davis wasn't coming through the gut, I think Sandahar thought he was coming through, and when he didn't see him, kind of took off down the line and then didn't find anything and tried to spin back the other way, right into some Viking defenders. So now he gives it up the gut to Eric Davis.
Davis does get the carry and moves ahead 2 yards. 3rd and about 8 for the Hawks coming up. Just over 2 minutes left, first half.
Nelson with the tackle for the Vikings. As we're getting right to the 2-minute mark here.
Princeton defense have had the Hawks number.
A lot of guys in the box right there, man. They are coming with a vengeance. So there's a pass out to the flat to Eric Davis as he catches it, leans forward to try to pick up a few extra yards.
Good positive play. He's still going to be about 2 yards short, and we'll see what the Hawks do here. I think you have to punt the ball, Dave. You're deep in your own territory, and sure enough, Austin Siraveld's going to go back.
So last time they were on the 30, this time they're on the 28-yard line as Eric tried to dive forward to the sticks and just can't stretch his body out far enough to get to the first down as it goes to Severfield high, and he barely gets that one off.
I don't know if the Princeton defenders nicked that ball, but Princeton's going to have a 1/2 field to operate here on their last possession of the second half.
Severfield looking for a little help from the ref there as he got nicked. That's just a typical punter would probably get knocked down, but when you're an offensive lineman, you don't get the advantage of the call there, as Austin was looking for a little help there.
So we got 1:05 left here, Dave. Does Princeton just knee the ball out, or do they look to score?
I don't know. They're on this side of the 50-yard line, setting shop up at the 46. He's thrown a couple bullets. It looks like they're going trips right and wide left, and I think they're looking for the end zone right here, Ken.
They have 1 timeout left. They used 2.
West goes back. He slings it down, finds big number 5 this time, and he gets out of bounds.
Yeah, finally a catch from Williams there.
R.J. West to Williams. As Princeton gets the first down, clock's going, goes right back to his man, and he leans in.
Had a penalty here. See if it counts.
He leans across the pylon. The referee at the pylon doesn't indicate it, but the referee in the middle of the field says touchdown. But as you said, there's another penalty flag thrown. I think that's going to come back. And the Hawks are going to dodge another bullet here as Williams catches that ball.
Well, that penalty's against East.
East. And I guess they're going to ask him, you want it now or do you want it on the kickoff?
Looks like they had an illegal substitution. Illegal participation is the call.
Not for sure what that was. I don't know if we could.
I don't know if they had a defender running off the field. They could have had 12 on the field.
Would have been 12 on the field,
running off.
but not illegal participation. I don't know if that was, if the guys see anything in the booth there. As Oliver comes out, and he's pretty automatic with the PAT. So I think there's your answer, Ken, with a $1:05 on the clock when the Vikings take the ball over. They punched it in.
25 seconds to get in that end zone. 20 seconds. So again, thanks to
two plays and a touchdown.
Thanks to Westchester Cable here, approaching halftime. Hope you'll stay with us here in the second half. Still bring you the last 46.7 seconds of this half. But go ahead and like that Westchester Cable page and tell your friends you're watching the game online. Appreciate all of you out there.
Online,
those in the truck and the cameramen doing their job out in the sun.
Online and YouTube TV. There you go. You see this game for free. No reason to subscribe to any of the other competitors that are charging you to watch this. Try to bring this to you guys FREE. Thanks to Westchester and the guys. Doing a great job here. And not only here at Lakota East they do this, but they do it over for Lakota West as well. So the cheerleaders are still
they're not tiring out yet.
Still trying to keep the student section going there as they are got their battery pack neons plugged in, and hopefully the student section maybe can help these young Hawks that are out on the field get going here in the second half. As they are going to take the illegal participation. I don't know if the guys saw anything on that touchdown.
I think it was a player running off the field because the flag came right here at the 18-yard line as the Hawks were kind of switching defenders. I think he didn't quite get to the sideline.
I haven't heard that call for a 12th guy on the field before, but they take the penalty on the kickoff, and that's easily going to go into the end zone as he kicks off on this side of the 45-yard line.
That actually happened in one of the college games last night. Somebody dove head first to try and get out of bounds, and they didn't quite make it in time. They said it was like a head first dive off to the sideline. So 46 seconds left. Hawks with the ball one more time here in the second half. Try not to make a mistake here and give Princeton a short field on a possession here, but try and march down, try and get a first down. Get something positive happening when you go in the locker room.
Get something positive as the student section is trying to rally. They just happen to be on the opposite end of the field right now for the Hawks as handoff to Eric Davis up the middle. Davis gets a good 5 yards.
Number 1, Eric Davis, tackled by number 12, Travis Lord.
As the Hawks are going to let the clock run here and going to not use any of those timeouts.
Yeah, I'd be curious if that is the strategy. Why not just let the clock run out on halftime here? You're going to try and take one more
snap. That's
I guess
not necessary.
If you get a first down, you'll stop the clock.
Eric Davis goes forward. He's going to come up just short, I think, as he's going to get about 4 yards.
Hawks are going to be content just going in the locker room.
And a 10th and come up about an inch short of the first down, and that's not going to stop the clock, and it's going to let it run out. So at the half here, Princeton has a 5-burger here, 5-0 against the Lakota East Thunderhawks.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Lakota East Marching Band's 2022 program is entitled Laloon. Wrapped within Debussy's masterwork of Claire de Lune, and an environment that's undeniably French, the show is simply a beautiful dedication to the moon and to the composer who wrote so lovingly about it. The program itself will break into 3 episodes: Moonlight, Harvest Moon, and Blue Moon. Each episode will have its own unique look and color. Tonight, Laloon will feature the following performers: Josh Riegel and Jonathan Bowden, clarinet; Dulce Withrow on flute, and Colin Vogelsen on alto sax. Once again, under the field direction of drum majors Haley Bowden, Maria Hudapole, and Malode, the Lakota East Marching Thunderhawks are proud to present the first and second parts of Laloon. The Vikings Thunderhawks are under the direction of Rod Tanis and Andrew Desmond, with assistance from David Wyrick, Maggie Whaley, Kathy Rusky, Colton Thomas, Taylor Evans, Susie Cole, Bill Pendleton, Jeremy Oliver, Scott Brown, Rob Howe, John Espy, and Vicky Borchers. Folks, the Marching Thunderhawks will perform in competition for the first time this season on Saturday, September 17th in Norwood, Ohio. Best of luck to our Marching Thunderhawks. The Lakota East fans would like to extend a big thank you to all that helped and donated with the annual Tag Day fundraiser this past Saturday. It was another huge success, but don't forget the store opportunity to donate. Just click on the donate button on the top of the band website at
welcome back to Lakota East High School, home of the Hawk Nest here, where we have a beautiful night for football, but not a great night for East, as they are looking at a 50-0 halftime score here against the Princeton Vikings. And Ken, so far, Vikings just rolling, doing what they want to at will, and the Hawks just struggling, sputtering, mostly 3-and-outs, but do have a young crew in there with a lot of injured kids and a lot of backups.
Yeah, they got their backups in, but they only have 42 yards of offense, which is really troublesome. Princeton, on the other hand, 417 yards of offense, 225 yards on the ground, 192 in the air. Hawks with 34 yards rushing and 8 yards receiving. Eric Davis with only 27 yards. Hawks just struggling all around. They're getting beat by the long ball, by the long run on the outside. Haven't started anything on offense. Really need a dramatic turnaround here in the second half to come up with some positives going into the rest of their season here.
Yeah, had a chance with the ball with about 4 or 5 minutes left here in the first half to try to get the ball down in scoring position, and ended up turning it over. And Vikings just turned right around, and you asked the question, are they going to kneel it and just kind of run it out, and they scored, and Hawks got the ball and had the punt again, and with 1:05 scored again. So they scored twice in that short, under 5-minute period, and the Hawks just struggled to move the ball. As on the kickoff, looks like number 9, Files, takes that ball up and to the 22-yard line on the kickoff, but unfortunately someone is down for the Hawks, and we just cannot afford any more injuries.
Hawks already depleted here. They came in with 7 of their seniors on the do not play list, on the doubtful out injury list, and they definitely can't afford more. Hawks team on the sidelines there, medical staff, including Coach Haynes out on the field.
Lost a senior in the first half, defender, and now we'll look to see. Hopefully he just got the wind knocked out of him as the staff is working on him. While they're doing that, we'll try to look up here to get some halftime scores, as I know the other side of Lakota is rolling over Sycamore in the third quarter, 52-0. Looks like Kings is 51-0 over Walnut Hills. Oak Hills and Mason 13-3 Mason. As we're paging down through here, a few other scores. Fairfield, Coleraine.
See Bryce
Fairfield
Taylor up, walking under his own power.
That's good to see. Fairfield up 27-7 on Coleraine. As we look across the GMC here and other local scores. See Lebanon's up 27-21 on Anderson. Here's a 7-0 Hamilton over Middletown right now. They're at the half.
Next two opponents for the Hawks right there, Hamilton and Middletown.
So they're battling it out. So we'll get set up here. Sanahar goes and hands it off to Eric Davis up the center.
Davis up the middle, gain of 3 for the Hawks. Blake Howard on the tackle for Princeton.
And on my spine here, Ken, Taylor looks like they're stretching out that hamstring. I don't know if that's cramps or what. Young man's playing a lot. I think he's going both ways tonight and some special teams, so maybe he just has a cramp, hopefully, and he can get back in there. As we set up at 2nd and 8, as ED only got 2 on that. So we split wide left, 2 receivers. And Sanahar takes it. Was looking, I think, to flip it there, and wisely did not, as he got wrapped up around the waist and arms.
Princeton defense playing very well against this option. Back-to-back weeks. They had Coleraine last week. They shut them out 28-0. And right now the Hawks offense has not been able to muster anything against Princeton's defense.
Nope. Saw 27 Connor Cruz in there on that last play.
Third down and 7.
Split wide right as well with Vogelman. And now Davis goes into the slot. Richter stays back to block. Sandahar slings one over Cruz's head.
Pass is intended for number 27. Connor Cruz.
And I like the idea, just don't have the execution there as Connor runs back into the huddle, as that was not catchable.
It's going to be another 3 and out for the Hawks. They only had 2 first downs. They did dominate, they didn't dominate, but they led the time of possession 11 and a half minutes to 8.5 minutes in the first half against Princeton. But Austin Sierreveld right now in for his 7th punt of the day. Princeton's going to take a timeout. Not sure they had enough on the field. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I count 10 red helmets.
And the one guy, but they didn't have enough or they had too many. I saw a guy running off, so they were either short or too many, and they call a TO here early. Something the Hawks did not do at the end of the first half. Took their 3 into the locker room.
So we are under a running clock here, minus timeouts, injuries, and referee stoppages, but clock will run on incompletions, anything out of bounds, change of possession, speed up the game here in the second half. Quite a long first half with a lot of penalties, a couple injuries, a lot of balls out of bounds, some incomplete, well, not really incomplete passes.
So I think we're going to make up for that here in the second half with the running clock, as the crowd thinned out quite a bit after the band gave a great halftime show. As Severfield goes back, he gets the punt off. He gets hit that time. He looks back to the ref. Finally. I don't think he was going to get it if he didn't look back, and I saw him, Kenneth, coming.
But you saw him at halftime kind of arguing the case, saying, hey, they've hit me a couple times. You guys need to watch out for this. And finally drew the flag there, so not sure if that's a 5-yard infraction or a 15 running into versus roughing the kicker, but we will find out here in a moment.
Yeah, at halftime, Austin was talking to a couple of the refs about, hey, my foot's extended and they're hitting me. You know, hey, just because I'm a big O lineman and I probably outweigh him by 150 pounds or more doesn't mean they're still not hitting me. And he definitely got spun on that one.
Looks like they're going to call the running into the kicker version only the 5-yard penalty. So Austin will get another chance to boot it.
Again, I don't think we talked about this. You know, he's not going to get too many benefits of the doubt. A typical thin, wiry punter back there would have got spun. I think he would have picked up 15 on that. So snaps the ball. He gets that one off. Gets a pretty good foot in on that one. It's going to bounce. They had nobody back there.
No, their player ran off to the sideline, I saw, prior to the punt being made. I don't know if he was an extra man there and the referee told him to come off the field. And but yeah, Austin had just a bunch of green grass there and hit the ball in the fairway.
Yep,
he got the friendly roll.
I think he'll take that. He'll take the stats a little bit there, as he's been feeling some pressure. The Vikings have been coming after him. I think they saw that film last week with that first block punt. And they've been bringing the house and a couple times there tonight where he's just barely gotten the ball off.
So let's see if R.J. West is still in the game for Princeton, or they went to a backup.
Yep, looks like they got a backup quarterback in there, Ken, as he pitches the ball out wide to number 21. And looks like maybe 18 for the Vikings.
Tyson Beach there with the carry. We're going to see this again.
Yeah, I'm going to call that number 18 Hunter, the sophomore quarterback, in right now.
Yep, Antonio Hunter.
And he throws that over to Beach.
Antonio Hunter, now in at quarterback for the Vikings.
So 7.5 minutes left here. Definitely a quick with the rolling clock there. Hunter back in shotgun. Just going to keep it himself.
Yep. He's going to scamper up the middle. Nobody touches him till the safety after about 12-yard gain.
He's brought down by Kellen Warren.
You'll see the
And
replay.
we've got a Hawk there limping off the field, and he's going to go down.
Hunter scampers here. He gets 10, 12 yards before anyone touches him as the safety hits him, and now looks like big number 93.
Drew Wells. Can't tell if that's Wells or Coleman. Yep, Drew Wells. Oh, no, that's... I can't tell who that is.
And again, I don't know if these are cramps. It's not super hot. Little humidity, but like we said, a lot of these guys are going both ways, Ken. And starting to see some cramps.
Yeah, the heat, humidity of the day got up there a little bit.
And I don't know if you guys saw right before we went to half, camera guys were giving us some good shots, but boy, we had a phenomenal sunset where the sky was just purely orange, reddish, on fire. So just a beautiful night here as the Hawks take a knee and big number 93 gets up.
See,
I think he's gonna.
he almost brought Kevin Stokes down with him.
I think he's gonna walk that off.
Oh, he cannot walk. Having trouble putting any weight on that right ankle.
I don't know if it's his ankle or if it's his calf, as they were trying to look like they were trying to stretch him out there. So
Coach Dave Koger going to help him off. And back to live action here. Princeton with the ball, 1st and 10. At the Hawks' 46-yard line.
Taylor's still on the table getting worked on too. And
I don't know if there's any more room, any more.
starting to run out of space here in the trainers. So Vikings set back up. Hunter goes in the shotgun, hands it off. Something comes off on the field.
Number 25, Micah Cottrell.
I think somebody lost a shoe.
Tackled by number 67.
So
Stephen Patterson.
Patterson with the tackle for the Hawks, number 67 there. As we get a
Princeton
nice-
not wasting any time. They're right to the line of scrimmage. They know it's running clock. They want to get their offense in.
Nice ground shot by the guys down in the end zone there. As Hunter looks over for the play. And I think we got something going on here with the refs.
Play clock isn't. I think they're keeping the play clock on the field.
Yeah, I
There's
think
a
they are, too.
handoff.
Nice handoff and run by number 35. He's off. He's going to scamper. And again, just no one's going to get a hold of him. And like that, the Vikings are going to take another big strike, 40-something yard touchdown play, as we'll see here. 41-yard line. There's some confusion there as they were looking to play clock. I think the umpire had the clock. But we'll see here. Hunter hands it off. He scampers through. And we're going to get set up for the PAT.
You know, week 1 when Princeton scored 63 points against Anderson, they were talking that was the second most in the state. So Princeton, you know, they're not going to sit on the ball here. Here's the handoff again and the run by the running back.
Number.
And the Vikings lead.
And he is just gone. 25, Micah Cottrell.
Followed those linemen really well. He even grabbed a hold of his jersey, kind of let him lead the way. Saw some opening and took off. And again, Hawks trying to throw some arm bars and trying to just trip him up. But
you know, and these are backups in, Dave, so you're not going to tell them just to go easy and sit on the ball. These guys are trying to make a case for themselves,
right,
to be on the field this year and or next. They got to make plays. So Hawks defense has to step up and make some tackles here. They're making it look awfully easy for Princeton.
Should be pretty well evenly matched now with the amount of substitutes that the Vikings have put in and all the guys that we have in who are second, third team doing starting roles tonight. So this is kind of a gut check and a for the Hawks here, right? Like we were saying before the half, what do you say? Who's the next man up? Who's going to step up? Who's going to fill? And like I was saying, no X's and O's, man. It's Jimmy and Joe's. Who wants to go out there and play some football?
Yeah, you have to imagine in the locker room, it's somebody step up and make a play. Somebody make something happen. Somebody have a big block. Somebody make a great tackle. Somebody step in front of a pass. Somebody hit someone at the line. You're getting opportunities here. You can't just let Princeton run down the field untouched.
Mason picked up a field goal. They're up 16-13 now in the third.
Against the undefeated Oak Hills team. I don't know if I've ever said that.
As the kickoff goes down, bounces off one of the Hawks receiving team. And I think that was number 30.
Trey Jeffers.
Yep.
Kind of bounced in front of him, and he scooped it in before he
got hit right about the 16-yard line. So I'm looking around here at some other scores. Fairfield Coleraine still 27-7. Some GCL scores. Elders 21-20 over Springboro. Wow. LaSalle's down 3-10 to Fairmount.
Jason's going to start in the shotgun here. Takes a relatively high snap, hands it off up the middle. Davis rumbles forward for 2.
And offensive number 1, Eric Davis.
Just trying to pick
4.5 minutes left here in the third quarter.
Milford is over Loveland right now. Thought I saw a St. X score in here. They're playing, I believe, Olentangy and Columbus.
Second down and 8.
And the last I checked, they were down.
Hawks are going to send a couple of receivers wide, and then there was some confusion. They're going to have to burn a timeout here.
St. X now up 24-21 over Olentangy. So a little rundown across the GMC and GCL. So we got a timeout with 4:14.
Yeah, Hawks ran a couple new players out there, and then they sent somebody in the slot from the backfield, and then somebody else went wide. And definitely not everyone was on the same page there.
And kind of like last weekend, I'd love to see this group move the ball and get some points out of here somewhere. Keep Princeton off the field. Don't let them get a 60-burger here.
Yeah, I mean, you want to stay true to what you can do offensively. You need to prepare for Middletown. You need to prepare for Hamilton.
Yep.
Your next 2 games.
And these are going to be the guys that are going to do it. I think, what you see on the field right now on both sides of the ball for East are, like you said, these are going to be the kids that are going to have to step up the next 2 weeks.
That was Richter right off left tackle off of Sierraveld. And Richter had a nice run against West near the end of the game.
Right.
You just got to get one good block. You still have your first string off, or your starting offensive line there, minus your center, who's a backup, but has played all game today.
And doing quite a good job there at center, I'd say. Haven't seen anything much different there. Of course, you'd like to see your seniors in there.
Looks like everybody moved except the center.
Just as we said that.
10-player false start there.
Everybody moved but the ball. So just when you had 3rd and short, or 3rd and 5, not short, but distance that the Hawks usually are used to, now you're going to go backwards.
Makes it tougher 3rd and 11 now instead of 3rd and 6, but you're in a passing situation here. Kayshawn Sandhar is going to be in a shotgun.
Yep, got
Oh, I'm sorry,
Dual
he's
slot
under center.
receivers on the left, looking around, spins,
Good
gets out of the
protection.
way, and wow, you need to throw the ball there. Got to get rid of it. I don't care if that's 10 yards short of somebody, just throw it that way and not take the sack deep in your own zone. But
Yeah, he had good protection at first, and then it kind of all collapsed around him.
yeah, he made a good move and started rolling. I thought he was going to fire the ball. Maybe felt the receiver wasn't open, but that's where you got to know the situation and just fire the ball into the turf 5 yards in front of your guy.
So Saraval going to come on for his 8th punt, this time from deep in his own end zone, and Princeton's come close to blocking a couple of these. I'm not too...
Yeah, that's a 8-yard loss now and puts, bad snap. Severfield gets it off quick. And good thing is the ball goes out to, he's down.
Yep. Caught the ball while he was on the ground, so nice punt from deep in his own end zone,
Yeah.
but that could have been a lot dangerous, fielding that ball like a shortstop.
Yeah, he did.
Got
And we
it on the short hop, and
caught the short hop there, and then the receiver or the punt returner almost misplayed that, and the Hawks almost got a freebie there. That'd have been huge.
yeah,
And the biggest offensive play of the day was off of a punt there. But yeah, Austin had to get the infielder glove out and catch that one. Maybe it's a good thing he does keep those gloves on when he's kicking.
$60 gloves, I heard. So Princeton going to take over again, backup quarterback Hopkins in, I believe.
That's
Hunt.
Hunter again.
Hunter, sorry.
18 as he fakes it and throws it out into the flat. And number 11 just turns the Jets on. Wow.
And that's
Number 11
63.
goes down like a 100-yard dash sprinter, but something happened there right at the end of the run as he threw the ball and slid into the advertisements down there and was calling for some help. There's the Princeton
Going to see this
staff.
again. Just a nice little quick throw to the outside. Just a 2-yard pass that the quarterback gets 47 yards of credit for.
Yeah.
And look at
bam,
him go.
21 is off to the races.
And he just sort of cramped up there at the end. Quite a bit of speed there on the outside. He's still down, being attended to, and that's the 63rd point.
Tyson Beach there takes that 47 yards and comes up a little limpy there at the end.
And Hawks faithful starting to file out of the stadium here.
So the Vikings get that 60 mark.
Tying their first week score. Pending the extra point, they'll have more than the first week. And looks like number 10 for the Hawks warming up his arm on the sidelines.
It's Camden Braden, the junior quarterback for the Hawks.
He came in the 4th against West when they scored their lone touchdown. He was at the helm.
So anticipate a change there at the QB going into the fourth quarter here. So we're at 1:22. Stoppage on the score and injury as we get set up for the PAT. And the Vikings still confused on their special teams, running people in and out last second. I guess somebody's counting in there. High snap. He zips it through and
64.
Oliver's pretty automatic with point afters. So now we're at 64-0.
I think they want that highest score in the state mark that eluded them in week 1.
There's a shot of the Viking sidelines. Eric Davis coming off. Yeah, I would say at this point, there is no sense of putting ED out there and letting him potentially get rolled up on, get hurt. Definitely going to need him over the next 2 weeks. So Oliver's going to line it up here for the kickoff. And looks like we got some new folks back for the receiving core of the Hawks. Number 27 and number 30 over there.
Trey Jefferson, Connor Cruz.
As it goes over Jeffers' head and into the end zone for a touchback. And the Hawks will take over at their 20-yard line. So, Ken, you said you saw some a junior quarterback warming up over there, number 10. It looks like I see him huddled up on the sideline here, and he's running in, and I see a whole mess of new offensive linemen in there. 71, 78, 70.
Yep, I believe this is JV time. Braden takes the snap, hands it off
to Richter.
I'm assuming Princeton has their second string defensive line in there. But again, Hawks just trying to stay true to themselves and run their normal option offense, see if they can gain a couple first downs. No first downs yet in the second half, only 2 in the first half.
And Richter back up through the middle as we got McDonald in the O-line. Williams in there on the O-line.
That should do it for the third quarter here. I don't think the Hawks are going to snap the ball.
Gambetti's in there on the O-line as we see them all trouting off. There's a good shot of all the players now in the game for the Hawks. As we run down here at the end of the third, it's 64-0, Princeton. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Hawks Nest as the band still here in the house.
Little Sweet Caroline.
Giving us some tunes and the drum line. Band's always faithful. Love the band in high school and college sports, Ken.
Oh, absolutely. Creates the atmosphere, keeps everybody pumped. This crowd's thinned out a little bit, but they are singing along to Sweet Caroline.
As the Hawks still possess the ball starting the fourth quarter. Still in a running clock. As you can see, the score has been all Princeton. And just as we were going into the break there, trying to catch all these young men who normally don't get a chance to be out there on the field, getting their opportunities, going to get some snaps, and I think that's going to play really important as they go forward here, Ken, over the next 2 weeks with Middletown and Hamilton coming up. Teams they should match up well with. Even with a young group here. And this is just play time and experience that these kids wouldn't get in practice. So that's the positive out of tonight. As now Severfield does not punt. I'm not for sure who punted. But he gets it off, and he's going to get a little bit of an East roll. Looks like number 82.
Not sure.
So
Austin initially ran out there, but I think somebody replaced him.
Don't have an 82 on our roster.
That's the opening kickoff.
And I think it was down by Kallenbach. Touched it up for Lakota. As now we also see here the Lakota East, couple of new defensemen that are in there. Got 92, I think that's Worley. 58, the linebacker position, Logan Kallenbach. I think he's the one that touched down the punt. Number 87, Parker Elam over there in the linebacker position. As the Vikings fake the handoff and Hunter keeps it. He scampers on the right-hand side. He's got a lot of green and nothing in front of him but a black end zone. And that's going to be a touchdown, Vikings. One and done in the end zone.
Been a common theme pretty much all night that Princeton with the big play and easily running, kept the ball, faked the handoff inside, and just went off the right tackle, got through that first layer.
And the backup quarterback shows off his wheels. We're going to see here, he just tries to act like he shoves it in 36's belly and keeps it, and Hawks just get outran here. Nice downfield block here by the wide receiver.
Looked like Miles Metz had a chance, but
and number 18
good juke move.
Scampers in, and like you said, Ken, that's multiple times tonight. One big play, two plays from scrimmage, and the Vikings are in the end zone and back on the bench watching with their defense coming out.
Well,
so.
I said to you, Dave, why does East have the time of possession halftime advantage? And you said because Princeton's scoring quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times have they just scored on the first or second play from scrimmage, or at least gotten the majority of their yards?
Or one series at best and in the end zone.
The only time the Hawks stopped the Vikings was on a Vikings mistake.
Yep.
In which they had their shortest field of the night after an East mistake.
So now
but 71 points for Princeton, and not sure they're going to stop anytime soon.
I think they're going to hit that highest score mark here as special teams coach trying to draw something up down there. And we talked about that. Special teams may be the ticket tonight on how you beat Princeton in the punt game, receiving game, kicking game, and the special teams here, trying to take advantage where maybe you match up the best when you know you came in kind of beat up offensively and defensively. Guys going both ways.
Well, you're beat up in a way, but you also have second string against second string, so it kind of is a fresh start.
Right, at this point, right. And, speaking in the first half here that, that special teams is what we thought were going to make the difference, and it just hasn't happened yet tonight. So, again, places for the Hawks to work on. Like we said, these next two games could be huge for them, and going to have to be hitting on all cylinders as the kickoff goes down to the 10-yard line and fielded, I believe, by number 30, Jeffers. And he brings it back up to, looks like right around the 25-yard line, 26-yard line. I think we're going to start off.
Yep, call it the 26 and see if they can muster any offense. Coach Haynes out there talking to his crew. Who's going to make a play? Who's going to step up? Who's going to break through a hole?
See Jackson Billingsley on the offensive line there. And maybe Alec Nordmark. Nope, can't be. Saw an 85 come in and in the tight end position. As the handoff goes the opposite direction to number 28, Peck. Chauncey Peck gets a go at it as he ends up losing a yard there on the play. Brings up 2nd and 11.
Nordmark in there, Parker Elam out in there. Alec Nordmark's not old enough to be in high school because I knew him when he was like 3. Coached his older brother Brock in multiple sports.
So now a hand up right up the middle to Richter. as he goes forward, gets some positive yardage out to the 31-yard line.
Hawks still looking for that elusive first down.
Yep.
In the second half.
Tackle by number 51 there. Pettis for the Vikings, sophomore. So Vikings got pretty much their second string in now too. I think everybody's matched up pretty evenly here. With a 71-point lead, they can afford to do that. As the Hawks hand it back off again to number 28 this time. And he picks up a first down.
Yep, Chauncey Peck with a nice solid run. Good blocking there by the Hawks, and that's going to be a Thunderhawk first down.
There you go, a first down.
So just 5.5 minutes left. We're going to see this again. One of the positives for the Hawks. And there we go.
Nice strong run.
Let's move those chains.
By the sophomore running back.
So Camden Braden, right under center, puts a man in motion. And that's going to go up the middle to Richter.
Yep, and Richter goes forward. Playing that role that Eric Davis normally has. Taking it up the gut. And he gets good 5 solid yards, maybe 6.
Yeah, such a demanding role. I mean, you need Richter to get some experience doing that because Davis is going to need a spell once in a while once you start playing against the opponents that you're able to compete with here. So Hawks looking to move the chains again, get a sustained drive going here in this fourth quarter. Similar to what they did against Lakota West last week.
Man goes in motion, hands it off to Richter again, right up the middle.
Another Hawk first down.
Braden gives it to Richter, and he gets a first down, Hawks. So still running just above 4 minutes here. And just maybe the backups can do it again today, or tonight, and get off the goose egg here. As we split wide right. You see Brandon there getting up underneath center. Man in motion and hands it off, but the
Nowhere to go
Vikings
that
said
time.
that's enough of you coming straight up the middle 3 times in a row.
Yeah, Richter just had nowhere to go there. He ran into the Princeton line. Logan Brown just there, waited to bear hug him and throw him to the ground. So 2nd and 10. About 3.5 minutes left here in our game.
Hawks are just at midfield. Hawks do have 2 timeouts if they want to put a hold to this clock in the interim, as Braden went back. I think he was going to throw that ball, and nothing but Vikings coming straight downfield, man. They're not holding back.
Yeah, that was Logan Brown again. That's back-to-back tackles for Brown.
Yeah, they're coming. They're loading the box. They're just coming south, heading downhill.
Going to bring up 3rd and 17 for the Hawks. 2 minutes, 45 seconds left in our ball game.
So saw
Barring overtime, of course.
saw a little glimmer of hope there as the Hawks were starting to move the ball. I thought we were going to maybe get down.
See Nordmark
This
here
side
at
of
the bottom of our screen.
Of our turf as they go right back to Richter, and he fights his way in the middle of the Hawk logo, but he's going to come up way short.
And Hawks are going to get to double-digit punts on the day.
As not for sure who's back to punt.
Austin started coming in, and now they're going with our mystery man, number 82. See if our PA announcer knows who that is.
I think we only got 10 guys out there. There's the number 11. As the snap goes up, goes off, gets
Just
hit,
gets it.
and
It's
no
a good
one's
roll.
going after the ball. And I don't think the ref's going to throw the hanky there at all. I guess maybe he said he tipped it a minute. I don't know.
I don't know if he got a hand on it, but minute 22 left. Not sure why the clock stopped, but
I think just for the change of possession, and then it's going to get wound right back up here.
Vikings
Princeton-
have enough time to score.
Princeton may have taken one.
So Hawks defense going to get tested one more time here with a minute 22. Unless Princeton just takes a knee, which
Will we see the victory formation?
should. But
See
you
who
also have
they
sophomores
send out.
on the field under the Friday night lights. So
That's right. I see everybody out but a quarterback maybe. Or do we have a new quarterback?
well, we're going 5 wide. Spread offense. Nope,
And
there
he's
we
going
go.
to take a knee.
Interesting victory formation with the
Yeah.
spread offense. So Dave, Hawks next week at Middletown.
Yep. On the road for the next 2 weeks, Middletown and Hamilton. And hopefully the Hawks can find some W's there and come back 2-3. And going to have a next home game would be against Mason.
And we will be here to bring that game. So
Yes, so everybody out there in Westchester TV land, come on back in 2 weeks here to watch the Lakota East Hawks take on the Mason Comets. But for tonight, it's all Princeton, 71-0 over the Thunderhawks.